I welcome you to this edition of Mentoring Masterclass. With me today is Pastor Yomi Kasali of the Foundation of Truth Assembly here in Surulere, Lagos, Nigeria. Pastor Yomi Kasali has been around for quite a long time. Some of you will remember him as the youth pastor in Foursquare Gospel Church. He's also the chairman of the NCPC, Nigerian Christian Pilgrim Commission. He has also been very visible in the political terrain in Nigeria. And we had an interview with him some time ago, which we published in Elife magazine, talking about righteousness in politics. Today, we want to look at another important topic concerning Christians in politics. We want to see, is it really possible? And with this election that we just had, a lot of people feel that the church was defeated, that the church rose against the Muslim ticket, and at the end of the day, it seen the light of the day. I have about 12 questions for Pastor Yomi Kasali. I invite you to please join us in this and then share it to your friends and let them see or hear what Pastor Yomi Kasali has to say. Pastor, I thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Pastor. You don't bless you, sir.
Nice to be here.
Thank you, sir. Yes, sir. My first question to you, sir, is what are your thoughts concerning this 2023 elections? As I said a little while ago, the APC came up with what we call the MMT. They call it a Muslim ticket.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, especially the Christians, rose against these. And it was like they want to, that it was a Muslim agenda. It was a continuation of Muslim agenda. They want to Islamize Nigeria and all sorts. When APC came up with this, or Bola Tinubu came up with his Muslim vice president, what were your thoughts that time?
Well, thank you very much. This is a terrain that I'm not very comfortable sharing my thoughts about. Because, number one, a few years ago, I had to pick up the membership card of APC. I wasn't a member before, but as we grew in influence and in import in the party and the government, I had to pick up the membership card from my town in Ijebu. However,
so you are from Ijebu?
Yeah, I'm from Ijebu. Yes. However, when I picked that up and I found that my party picked up a Muslim ticket. Number one, it violated my conviction as a person. And of course, I'm against Muslim ticket. I'd said that at different places and to different people, some in private, some in public. My position on that is very clear. So it affected my loyalty to my party as a person, because my loyalty to my faith is more important than my loyalty to my party. So it depends on, and there are some people that probably don't agree with that. I disagree, though, that it's an Islamization agenda. I totally do not concur. I don't think Ashiwaju did that to Islamize the nation. It was for political convenience to win an election. He knew he couldn't win en masse in the north without a Muslim vice presidential candidate. Even with that, I still do not support the Muslim ticket. I am going to say that to my last breath, because I think 50% of Nigerians are Christians. It's an insult, as it were, or a denigration of the Christian faith, not to have number one, number two, either of them not a Christian. So I do not think also that the Christians and the church were defeated. Depends on how you measure defeat. The fact that somebody has success in the particular election doesn't mean that I'm defeated. The way the devil defeats Christians is when he changes your confession towards God. Not because, look at Job. Job was not defeated when he lost his children, because Job still kept his faith in God. So even if you slay me, I will still stand for Christ. Look at the martyrs, those that died for their faith in the scriptures.
The attitude, sir, attitude of many Christians concerning this election that time was that our God will fight for us. Our God will not allow this to happen. We've had a lot of pastors, a lot of so-called prophets say, God told me. That's the language in Nigeria now. God told me I would be the next president. God told me Tinubu will not be the president. God told me. A lot of God told me, God told me, God told me. And at the end of the day, it's like, this God is a liar. I mean, is God a liar?
God is not
Is God a Confucianist?
God is not a Confucianist. Bible says God is not the author of confusion. 1 Corinthians 14. God is not a liar. Romans tells us, let God be true, all men be liars. So let's discuss the prophetic and prophecies. I strongly feel that many people did not hear from God, with all due respect to whoever they are, and their office or their clout in ministry does not mean God has spoken to them. Now, many people do not understand the difference in a prophet operating in the prophetic office and a Christian that can prophesy. And many of those that have said, God told me, in all fairness, we found that God did not tell them. The Bible says prophecies of old did not come of the will of man. 2 Peter chapter 1, of the will of man. Which means that of their own will and accord, they would desire to be this, desire to be that, and so they spoke of their own accord. Listen, prophecies should be judged. 1 Corinthians 14 says we must judge prophecies. Do not judge prophets. So what we do is we judge the people and not judge the statements. I've told people, look, the fact that you have said something that is wrong does not make you a bad person. A prophet can even lie. There are many scriptures in the Bible, passages in the Bible that tell that people have lied before. Remember the old prophet in 1 Kings 13 who told a lie to the young prophet? That didn't make that old prophet a false prophet, but was a lying prophet. However, the same God used the same old prophet to prophesy the end of the young prophet. Why would God do that? The man lied because the man wanted to associate with the biggest thing in town. This young guy could prophesy. So what we don't know is how to decipher when this great man of God says, God told me something. The man may have heard from the flesh, may have heard of his own mind, and prophesies to comfort us. But guess what? God did not speak to him. We found out God didn't speak to him. That didn't mean that that man is not the man of God. Simply means the guy told a lie or spoke from the flesh.
So he's no longer a man of God. If you would tell a lie.
No. That doesn't mean he's a man of God. He told a lie like that old prophet in 1 Kings 13.
Okay.
Don't forget, God spoke in several passages as well. That those that represent him sometimes prophesy out of the flesh. That I did not speak to you, but you spoke your own dream and he said, God told you. So those people miss it. We're still the best of man is still a man. People do tell lies. I can give you many scriptures. People do tell lies. Not because they want to. Now, a false prophet is someone who does not just tell a lie, but live a lie and directs people to go into idolatry. Deuteronomy 13 says, if a prophet comes to meet you and prophesies, and everything he's saying comes to pass, and then he tells you to go and serve other gods, thou shalt not follow him. In fact, you should stone him to death, for he's a false prophet. Now, but the humanity in our great leaders and influence their preferability. I prefer Pastor Bola to be the president. I say, oh, God told me he's next president. Meanwhile, it's not God. It's my flesh. Eventually, we know out of the multitude of a dream, business, the dream cometh. Ecclesiastes 5, because you're thinking, now dream of it. And then it doesn't come to pass. So certainly, many prophets got it wrong. God is not a liar. The prophets told lies. The pastors told lies in 2023 for the elections.
Not just 2023, sir. Before now. I wrote about this, so I feel very comfortable to me. Someone like Pastor Chris Okoto came online, on TV.
Yes.
At the time he said, God told me Obasanjo will hand over to me. I now tell President Obasanjo to start packing up, to start rounding off, and hand over to me. That was in 2023. We now find out God did not say anything. There's another one who said God told him he's the 16th president of Nigeria. I am the 16th president. He went into the election. He didn't even win one vote. Now, Pastor, this kind of shenanigans we see in the church, where will it leave the church in Nigeria?
No, it has gotten us to a point where people no longer believe in us anymore. The church is emptying out daily. The young people have lost faith in their church leaders. Lots of people are now, they have an apathy. We have church apathy. People now have God apathy. Churches are no longer being filled anymore. And it's because of the reckless statements the church leaders have made. And also the fact that the PFN, the Pentecostal Fellowship of Nigeria, the block that prophesies more than others, the PFN is not under firm grip at the very top. Listen, there is something called leadership. We must provide leadership. That we have too many individual personalities so strong and they're bigger than the PFN. That's the problem of PFN. Because PFN should discuss doctrinal purity, should discuss decorum in pulpit, should discuss how to, should be able to curb all this recklessness. But we're not doing that. So the church is in a mess. I've spoken to our fathers that have listened to me, that we need to quickly wade in now, get a grip, because again, the politicians are coming for us. I'm saying it, the politicians are meeting, and they are coming after the Pentecostal churches. They will come out with a very big sledgehammer. And when that happens, it may be just too late for us to start gathering together and say, what do we do? Let's organize our house. Right now, we're not organized. We have become an embarrassment to the faith, embarrassment to our God, embarrassment to the...
Why is it that it's always the... I spoke with some of the, what do you call it, the other blocks in Cannes, the evangelicals, you know, the Catholic and all of that. Yes. And the attitude is like, it's you Pentecostal.
We are the ones.
It's you Pentecostal.
We are the ones.
One of them used one word. He said penterascality or something like that. Yes. Say you people, you are penterascals. Yes, I understand you when you say the two big guys and the Pentecostal or something there. What can be done? What can the Pentecostal movement do about this recklessness that we see? Anyone will come up today, even if he does not subscribe to Pentecostalism or is not even a member of the Pentecostal church, the fact that he is an independent person, you tend to say, oh, he is a Pentecostal. What can be done about this rascality that we see all over the place?
The only thing to do is, if they say the fish is rotten, it starts from the head. We need, I repeat, as a ball, and this is my own prescription to the solution, a very strong leader. Now, Bishop Ali, okay, I respect him a lot. He's a man I respect, but I do not think, with all due respect, is strong enough to call those people to order. Now, we need a very bold PFM president who will be strong, who will respect the fathers, but also clean out the house. And tell the fathers, daddies will respect you. The body is hurting. The body is aching. We need to fix the body. And the first place to fix the body is doctrinal purity. And then discipline those people that are reckless, that are embarrassing the church. The guy in that other city that's always sleeping with women every time, you defellowship them. You are no longer part of us. Look for another block. Let the members know, let the Pentecostals know the membership of Pentecostal Fellowship of Nigeria. If FOTA is not there, my members will say, why are you not in PFN? Go and join PFN. Nobody's above authority. Nobody should say, I am a God to myself. What has happened is that, let me tell you when this whole mess started. A few years ago, when Bishop Michael Konko was the president of PFN, fantastic man, he's my father, by the way, was the PFN president. That was when we had the first major crisis, if you remember, in the PFN, up to them. And that was between Joshua Temitope and Chris Oyakilome. Now, Pastor Chris was even going to speak for my father in the Lord in a train. And he had accepted to come. That was when Chris Okote brought out that information about the alliance between Joshua and late Joshua Temitope Synagogue and Chris Okote. And Oyakilome. And then Bishop Mike said, hey, what's going on here? Can I come and interview you? Is this happening? You cannot fellowship with that man. He said, Papa should come. Papa on his way to see him, he called Papa and said, don't come anymore. This is the PFN president. I want to speak on behalf of PFN, Pentecostals Nigeria. This man is not part of us. And that was where the forces said. And you know what he did? He went on TV to say, look, who is PFN?
I remember. I remember that time.
That was the biggest insult of PFN. Biggest insult.
I give them money.
Biggest slap. I thought the whole other pastors would rise then with one voice and turn him off. Who do you think you are? Then we'll speak with one voice. They all left it. Now, if one can attack the body, if you had attacked Pastor Adeboye, they would have defended him. Because Bishop Mike was president, they didn't defend him. That's not right. But he was attacking the entire body. After that, we had this bishop and that bishop, this person. So we have too many individuals. See, Obama said something. Obama said, Africa has strong personalities, weak institutions. That's what we have here. We have a daddy in the Lord, with all respect, Pastor Adeboye, who stands tall. We have our Bishop Michael, we have our Bishop Oyedepo, we have our Pastor Ayo. So we have these individuals who are so big and bigger than PFN. Nobody wants to submit to the authority of the PFN president. That's why we're in this mess. Everybody must, the stronger PFN, the better churches we have. The weaker PFN, the weaker we are. So we must make sure PFN is strong, and you need a very strong leader to be able to pull them together and say, sirs, We are in a mess. If we don't do it now, politicians will come in and they will come and do it. Nobody should call it persecution. And I'm not prophesying. I'm just telling you what will happen.
There is an issue going on now in the Senate. They mentioned, what do you call it, that a bill. And a lot of them are shouting all over the place now. Are you aware of this?
I'm aware of that.
What is all about, sir?
Well, I think the CAN has issued a statement. I've read the statement of CAN. It's a dangerous thing. The bill is about a Christian center for religious affairs. I do not agree, even though the sponsors of the bill are Christians in the House of Assembly, House of Representatives. They are there. They are trying to regulate Christian education in our country and perhaps fund it, create a center that will be in charge of regulation of our Christian education. My fear is this, and I think the sponsors of this bill may have a ulterior motive. As good as it sounds, like I said to you, 1 Corinthians 11 says, if we do not regulate ourselves, external forces will regulate us. So what is happening is simply what the scripture said will happen. My fear is this, in that particular bill, they're going to regulate theological seminaries. So where that will go is, you cannot be a pastor unless you are licensed by a seminary. And for that seminary to license you means we now begin to control who stands behind the pulpit. After all, those in other blocks will not have issues. You can't be a priest in a Catholic church without going through. You can't be a priest in a Methodist without being. So they want to find a way of controlling those that preach behind the pulpit, because 90%, some 40-50% of them are not trained. And we just receive a call, we go to the pulpit, start preaching, and we start abusing government and abusing everybody else. So that means if you're not licensed, you can preach. To be licensed, go to accredited seminaries. When you go to accredited seminaries, that means you have been totally trained well. When you are trained well, there's some things you will not do. Pastoral ethics, pastoral counseling, pastoral conduct, they will teach you how to do that. So, and when you do not do that well, then you also be under authority of your block. So your block can discipline you. I support regulation.
Beautiful.
I just support it more internally than externally. I believe that we should internally regulate and not allow them to.
But don't you think that the way it is today,
yes,
internal regulation is virtually impossible?
Very impossible. I agree with you. No. What you're saying is apparent. It's obvious. It's very impossible. So I said I agree with the spirit of the bill, but the letter may be injurious to the body, and it is welcome. At this point in time in our nation, for us to survive this country with the church, I totally welcome it.
Thank you so much, sir. I think now I know I have someone who is also supporting me concerning this. Beautiful, beautiful. This election, we noticed that the northern part of Nigeria, the Christians in the northern part of Nigeria all rose and stood behind Peter Obi. In the south, it was an amalgam of, a different issue here. Now, someone said to be the Nigerian president, you don't just wake up overnight and say, I want to be the president. That someone like Ashiwaju has been working on this thing for 20 years. Is this a kind of requirement?
That's not true. Obi did not just wake up one day. I get angry when people speak about Obi waking up one day. Obviously, you can see that from my statements. I have sympathies and sentiments for Peter Obi, a two-time governor. That's not wake up one day. But with all due respect to the great maverick Ashiwaju Bola Tinubu, he was also a two-time governor. In addition to the two-time governor, he was a Senate president. He was a senator. But who did not serve more than 3 months under the defunct SDP.
SDP, yeah.
So apart from that, two-time governor. And he held on to his state for that long. So that's why Tinubu has an edge over Obi. Obi did not hold on to Anambra for quite long. But he was two-time governors of the state. He was a chairman of a bank. He ran a multinational in UK. He had a company. If you look at his resume, this man did not just wake up one day. He was a vice president candidate in 2019 election. So I wonder why people just say he just woke up one day. I don't get it. I really don't understand it. Then we may as well say Buhari woke up one day. Because he did wake up one day as I was the president. He wasn't even a senator, not even a governor. And he became a president.
I want you to talk to the young Nigerian, or let me say this younger generation. Because it's like there is nothing called political education in the church. It's like the church is not mentoring anybody. I want you to speak to these young Nigerians, in the church especially, What does it take to be a Nigerian politician?
Okay.
If the church will be virile politically, if the church will understand what politics is all about, I'd like you to talk to them.
Now, when you say the church, let me tell you what I believe about politics. I run a church. I run branches. I was actively involved in politics for 9 years, and the political process of throwing up candidates, of approving people to go and run our nation. Listen, politics is the governance in the affairs of man. That's it. If you are not involved in it, you are going to cede it to those that probably may not be qualified or may not even be competent. You need character, you need competence to be able to be out there and do politics well. You also need a party. You also need a manifesto, an ideology. Now, you also need networking. The only problem with us is that we carry, as it were, listen to me, our Christian doctrines into the political forum, and it doesn't work that way. When Jesus said to us that we sent us out as sheep in the midst of wolves, how can a sheep survive wolf? Very simple. The wise as serpent and harmless as dove. That has been my philosophy all my life. When I'm in the midst of a sheep, I will not be wise and cunning. A serpent's wisdom is crafty and cunning. That's what it means. When I am a Christian in politics, and I know politics is a place where wolves and sharks are, what do? Jesus gave it to me. Matthew chapter 10, verse 16. Be wise as serpents. Serpent was the animal Jesus used, and serpentine wisdom is cunning and craftiness. Be slippery. Don't forget, serpent, the first serpent was the devil. So Christ said, be wise as serpent, but also ensure you are harmless as a dove. In other words, even though I'll be so cunning, you won't catch me, I'll be so harmless, I won't hurt you. That's what it means. So you merge both the virtues of a serpent with that of a dove. Then you can survive in the midst of wolves. What has happened is we go to that place naive, simpletons, and we say, oh, they killed me, they tore me into pieces. You are not wise. That's why a man like Yemi Osibajo has risen to the position of vice president, almost became a president, because he deployed wisdom or tact as a serpent and was harmless and not corrupt as a dove. So nobody could say, oh, this man harmed me, this man hurt me, this man damaged me, this man did that to me. No, he was harmless, but extremely wise, extremely prudent as a serpent. We don't know how to deploy that wisdom. In church, we do that. We shouldn't play with that kind of politics in church, because in church, I am in the midst of sheep, So between two sheep, I shouldn't do that. But sheep in the midst of wolves, for you to survive wolves, not to eat you, you've got to be cunning and be harmless.
We thought that Vice President Yemi Osibajo will move from the vice presidency to the presidency. What happened?
Oh, he did his bit. He bought a ticket. He ran a fantastic primary. But you know what happened? Very well. It's the delegates. Our politics is in a mess. Our nation is in a mess. The way candidates emerge should be changed. If this country will have a bright future, the way candidates emerge, currently we use delegates, or the governors are in charge of delegates. So actually, the governors are so powerful. 12, 13 governors determine the fate of this nation. That's all. So 14 governors say to ourselves, let's put a madman there. That's it. Yes. There's nothing you can do about it. Even the delegates have no choice. Even Nigerians have no choice. Because I'm giving you the person to go and vote for. So good people can never emerge. No matter how bright, how smart, how great, how good you are, you cannot emerge. It's the governors that determine who emerges as president of the nation.
The fortune of Vice President Yemi Osibajo tends to look so funny to a lot of people now. Some people, I remember that time, it was like, he should have stepped down. He should have asked his boss, that kind of thing. His boss put him there, and you are running against your boss and stuff like that. That's not how to be a Christian. A lot of things that happened that time. I thank God the man just kept quiet, and it's like everything is just being forgotten now. How will you respond to this issue that Yemi Osibajo did not manage that side well with his boss?
Well, I would not want to make so many comments on this particular issue because of the things I know that happened behind the scenes. And I know quite a lot that happened behind the scenes. The one thing you must know about Yemi Osibajo is not a betrayal. He's not a traitor. He's not someone that will backstab you. He's a Christian in total. The information he's got about his boss, he perceived our revered Ashiwaju is quite deep. He has never leaked one out. So people should not say that, oh, he should have just stepped down. I agree with them. Maybe he should have stepped down. Maybe he shouldn't. But he's an adult. And sometimes it's called the doctrine of necessity. You look at the burden you carry matters. You look at the burden you carry for the nation, and you feel, look, I think I can do a good job in this nation. I do not doubt my competencies and my skills. Let me throw my heart in the ring. I prayed about it. I have my convictions. I can run it. I can lead the nation well. I see nothing wrong with that. However, the fact that, oh, he should have probably stepped down, he shouldn't run the place, his boss put him there, he threw him up. Oh, yes, I would want to keep that to myself.
What are your expectations of Tinubu's presidency?
Well, I think Ashiwaju Bola Tinubu will have a very good cabinet. He was a bright man. I've had one or two encounters with him in the past, and I could pick his brain that he's got eyes for talent. He will bring technocrats to positions of authority. He would do well with, I have no doubt he will do well with the economy. I do doubt he will do well with corruption. I don't think he's going to fight corruption well. I have not seen that sign in Lagos State, personally. But I think he will do very well with the economy. In other words, the country will likely make more money. They will probably, bring down the exchange rate. They will make the right decisions with respect to oil subsidies and stuff like that. He will do all that. I have no doubt he will fix the economy. But, there are 3 or 4, 5 major issues in this country. The first is economy. If we fix the economy and corruption still eats it, and insecurity, I think he might do a bit well in insecurity. But because poverty will be so thriving in the land, insecurity will still increase. I do not see him fixing insecurity in 2-3 years, frankly.
The fear of so many people is with Tinubu's vice president.
What's the fear?
The fear is that, look, this man looks deadly. This man, we don't trust him. This man, there's an area there. Boko Haram thing there. Tell me, what do you think of Shetima?
I don't know him too well. I've never met him in my life. But the things I've heard about him, read about him, and seen about him, and I know about him, he's a very deadly person. That's what I would say. He's not to be trusted. Even Ashiwaju's camp should not trust him. A man that is extremely ambitious, very ambitious, is a man that can do anything. Machiavelli says that, the end justifies the means. So he's that kind of person that believes in that. And when your politics is Machiavellian in nature, then I do not think I want to be part of you. I would rather be Socratic in nature. I would rather choose Socrates than Machiavelli. So I do not agree with those that have that political philosophy, that the end justifies the means. And that kind of person he is. So whatever means he will use to achieve his end and objective, I think he will deploy it. If it means going to meet people to lie to them, to say, oh, Ashiwaju wants to give you advice, please step down, which I think we had quite a lot of what he did to people. So he kept going around, selling dummies, it's fake, just because of his own objective. I think that's not a good way to run policy. And I think that's why I fear for the Ashiwaju presidency. And himself.
There is a wide gulf of difference, a kind of lacuna between the Christians in the north and the Christians in the south. I have tried to, I've interviewed a lot of them, and I noticed that all of them now move backwards, and it's like our brothers in the south, they don't really feel for us. I want you to speak to them.
But that's very true. We are very disconnected from the realities on ground in the north. They are being marginalized daily. They are being killed regularly. They are being choked, and we can't care. We don't care. We have the wealth in the south. We're selfish. We're self-centered. We're trying to build our empires. We're not reaching out to them out there in the north to let them know we're brothers and we're going to support them. They go through a lot. And whatever fears, whatever current positions and dispositions they have towards us in the south is probably, in my opinion, founded. It's not something that one should say, oh, it's not. It's very founded. We've not been supportive of them. We've not supported them financially, morally, and even spiritually. We've stood aloof for many years. We've allowed them to be killed, maimed, raped by the Islamic fundamentalists in the north. They are an endangered species, and we really don't care because it's not us. I guess because our tribal sentiments in this country is stronger than our religious sentiments, unfortunately. Because they are not Yorubas, so we don't care. Even if they're an Hausa person, but it's a Christian, we don't care. We see them first as Hausas and secondly as Christians. Unfortunately for us, that's not helping, even in this country. And I think you should be discussing even in the South What you are saying now about the North is happening in the South. You see your Christian brother first as an Igbo before Yoruba.
That's the next question I'm to ask you.
And that's very bad. And that's what I'm saying. The church fathers have been too tribalistic than being religious, and it's unfortunate.
In the South here,
yes,
between the Yoruba and the East, so to say now,
our Igbo brothers,
yes, there is that kind of bitterness. There is that kind of especially here in Lagos. Can this wound heal?
It can. It has to. Not can it must. We have to. John 17, that's the prayer of Jesus to cry to God. Make them one. The question is, who is dividing us? Politicians. And they're throwing money at the Yoruba pastors. And we're turning the blind eye. We say our Igbo has been killed. Brothers, because we have political differences, does not mean we should not have religious unity. It doesn't make any sense. I don't understand it. We go to the same church, we lift up our voices, same God, yet you live the same church and you are killing your brother. Remember Rwanda. We should do a program, Remember Rwanda. The Hutus killed the Tutsis in church. The Hutus camped their Tutsi brothers in church and they slaughtered them. It doesn't make any sense. The people you've known as your brother and sister, you sing together in the same choir, you walk together in the same men fellowship, and you kill because of his tribal affiliations of his tribe. It doesn't make any sense. And our fathers are keeping quiet. My father, I'm proud of him. My own father is Bishop Akukunko. I chose an Igbo man. I didn't choose him because I was an Igbo. I chose him because of his heart. I sat with him and he was speaking his heart out on this matter. And I said, Daddy, don't worry. We will speak for you. We will stand by you. I'm a Yoruba man to the core. Nobody can say I'm a Yoruba man. I'm a Yoruba man to the core. My father Yoruba, my mother Yoruba, my grandfather, my grandmother is Yoruba. And I love Igbo people. There's nothing wrong with them as Christians. And we must stop all these bigotry. We must stop it. We must not let politicians divide us, especially because they throw money at us.
I don't know now. This pain between the Yoruba and the Igbo people in Lagos especially,
yes,
the way it went. Yes. I don't really know what the APC as a political party will do. Now, I want you to speak concerning Obi. What should Obi do now?
I don't know him. I've not met him. Why will I be talking about Obi? I'm not his lawyer. I'm not his pastor. Those are them. I'm just a Catholic.
The attitude of a lot of people is that a lot of people now feel that the people hijacked him and turned Obi to Igbo project. Did you see it that way?
I don't see it that way. I do not see it that way. I see that as a propaganda by the opposition to LP. And you see, propaganda machine is so strong. If you tell a lie for too long, it becomes the truth.
It becomes the truth.
I don't see that. How is that possible? They don't want to make it church. They don't make it Igbo. I thought what you said now is stronger. To say the church, the Christian community, looked at all the candidates. We have a Muslim from the southwest, a Muslim from the northwest, a Muslim from the northeast, Atiku, Kwakwanso, Ashiwaju, and a Christian from the southeast. And the Christians just voted for the Christian candidate. Chicken, and that's what happened. Like they voted for Jonathan. That's what they did. It has always been our votes in this country. Christians vote for the Christian candidacy. They did. Even against their own brother, Yemi Osibajo, when he was with Buhari, they all voted Jonathan. We all know that. Only a few people voted for him. So Ashiwaju lost in the church. It was very known. When we ran his campaign, it was known. So the Christians always vote along their faith lines. So now, the people that believe in APC, my party, are now trying to design a propaganda to say the only way we can weaken this LP is not to look at his faith. Because Obi stands for three things, like Prof stands for three things. Prof was a lawyer, Prof was a fantastic pastor and a Christian, Prof Yoruba man. So this one is an Igbo, a Christian, and a businessman. So we can't attack his business because it's impeccable. We can't attack his Christianity because then we're a religious war. Let's attack his tribe, Igbo. So they just, okay, this is what we can attack, and that can make our Yoruba Christians sentimental towards their own cause. So they created a religious bigot out of the man. They say, oh, that man is an Igbo man. That man is Igbo supporting him. So the Yorubas just step back. Wait a minute. Am I pushing an Igbo candidacy? But it was a Christian candidacy before.
Yeah.
You just said it now. What drove your decision was this man is a Christian, or there's a Muslim. I'm going to vote for this man. That was what drove it. And what happened in February 25th was phenomenal in the nation. He said it must not happen in March. So they moved it by one election and they rushed that campaign out there. And we all don't think, Africans don't think. We embraced what they gave us on social media and we all say, fear is coming. How can one Igbo man? No. Ignore that. So I don't agree with that.
The social media you mentioned,
the narrative,
the social media you mentioned, the social media, is it positive for Nigeria? Is this social media a positive thing for us? Or do you think it's negative?
No, I disagree. I would stand neutral. Social media is like a gun. Like in America. You know, in America, they tell you that the guns don't kill, human beings kill. And that's why those that are supporting gun ownership are saying, keep it with us. Those that are against it say, no, the guns are killing. No. Depends on who's holding it. Depends on who's holding social media. Depends on who. What we should do is to educate ourselves to say that tool can be used positively and negatively. That tool can be used to preach a gospel and can be used to fight the gospel. Look at my brother, Daddy Freeze. He used it to fight the gospel, and people believe that they shouldn't pay tithes. Pastors are bad people. Somebody uses it again, like to preach a gospel, people are following Christ. So I think it's neither here nor there. Depends on who's using it. Now, if politicians use social media, I agree. Some say they should curb it because they should censor some things being said. We should not use it to promote ethnic bigotry, which can set the nation on fire. This thing happened now. It started 2011. The 2011 election was the worst. I don't think you remember.
Yeah, I remember.
That those days on social media, we hear that, they are killing them
there. Killing them.
And we all believe in it. Pictures were coming out almost every day. Doctored pictures. What's happening in Guinea? What's happening in Mali? They put in Nigeria that this is happening now. The outside men are killing here. Hey, go and defend. And people were afraid of their lives. Social media. And it always happened during political season. After the season is over, they go off. So the politicians are the ones using that to whip up sentiments. Now we must go back to issues-based democracy. Let's vote for people based on. Look, for instance, you don't go to attend debates anymore. You know why? They say to you, it doesn't matter. Our politics is in a bad place right now. People don't vote based on issues of what you can do or what you will not do, or based on character of the person being pushed forward. We vote based on tribal sentiments. That is a bad place to be. We have a bleak future.
The church, in this next 4 years, are we safe? Are we safe in the hands of Tinubu?
The church, I don't think Tinubu presidency will attack the church the way you're saying it. It will regulate the church. It will not attack the church. Like I said to you, I'm against Muslim ticket. I do not think he has any Islamization agenda. The man, in my opinion, don't tell anybody, I don't even think he's a practicing Muslim. The man married a Christian. The man does not care about your faith. The man associates with many Christians. When he saw me, he said, Pastor, sit down there, let's eat. He ate with me. The man is a very libertarian person. He's not a fundamentalist. Please don't let us make it look like Tinubu is a fundamentalist. No, he's not. Tinubu is a fantastic gentleman who wants to just have power.
A go-go, happy.
A go-go, a milocom, a president, and that's it. So that's what the man wants to do. So it's not the man that will say, Christians must die. No, I don't think so. I don't think Tinubu will do that at all. The church is safe under Tinubu. However, should the church support a Muslim candidacy? No, the church should not. But did they win the elections? Yes, so far he was declared winner. They are still in court. Let's wait and see what the court will say until then we'll know. But for now, it will be sworn on Monday, and we should all support it.
You have pictures of some great people here.
Yes.
I wonder there's no Nigerian there yet. Can we ever have it? Okay, there's one Nigerian there. I can see one Yomi Kasali there. But tell me, in all honesty, can we produce someone like these people?
These are my role models.
I know.
I put them in my office. People come in, they see, and each person there stands for what I believe in. Mother Teresa, a clergy who gave her life to Calcutta in India, who served humanity. Mahatma Gandhi, one great man I love so very much. I read all his books. He believes in people as well. Nelson Mandela, for his convictions, and he stood in prison for 27 years, refused to come out. Martin Luther King Jr. says darkness cannot cast out darkness, only light can. That's why I said to you that I don't think, with all due respect, that Ashiwaju Bola Tinubu will do well with fighting corruption. Oh yes, he will do well with fixing the economy. He might do fairly well in fixing insecurity, but I can almost certainly tell you, I doubt he will do any well in fighting corruption. Now, can we have Nigerians here? I've been looking for one, I've not found one. Moral leaders. I didn't say politicians, moral leaders. And that's a quest that you should go out looking for. You should go out looking for moral leaders. Write down 7 things, 7 criteria to be a moral leader. Number one, detribalize Nigerians. Show me one. Number two, one that believes in morality, right? And a strong sense of right and wrong. Wole Soyinka will have been there, but he was a literary icon, and I do not, because of his views about faith and other issues, I have decided not to put him in line. I decided not to put him there. So moral leadership in Nigeria is what we lack right now. We have political leaders, no moral leaders. And I've often said that we have many politicians, we have few patriots. And this is we're entering a season where patriotism is what we need in this country right now. Politicians cannot fix this country. It's patriots that can fix our country.
I told you, I'm sure you had a mouthful. Thank you so much, Pastor.
I appreciate
you so much, sir. Because I mean, it's very deep and incisive. And I'm sure a lot of people, especially you, the younger ones there, complaining about politics, complaining about Christianity, they're sweeping us aside. He has told you what to do about this future. If you don't join, power does not just roll.
You take power.
You take power. It doesn't just come.
Don't give
to you. Nobody gives it to you. I believe you learned something today. May God be with you. Thank you, Pastor.
Thank you very much.
I appreciate you, sir.
I appreciate you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. God bless.
Thank you, sir.